Welcome to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. I'm Kinsey Ashcraft, a boutique owner, firefighter wife, and mama of 2 cowgirls, homesteading on a cattle ranch in Oklahoma.
And I'm Talia Watcott, a Western artist and illustrator, mama of 2, and wife of a mountain man, raising babies in the mountains of Utah.
Together, we share a passion for the Western lifestyle, homemaking, and Indian paintbrush flowers.
We're here to inspire and encourage you as we each create a simple but beautiful life on the prairie.
Welcome to another episode of the Paintbrush Prairie. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've recorded, but we have some fun episodes coming up for you, and this one is how to beat the winter blues.
It's that time. It's that time. Just kidding. How's it going?
Seasonal depression is upon us.
It's our favorite month of the year. Everyone loves February.
It is my birthday month, but
well, that's a plus for you.
like only, well, I guess. I mean, just getting older now. It's like it doesn't matter now, but
do you find that like birthdays anymore, it's kind of just like, okay, yeah, it's my birthday. Like,
cool.
rather it wasn't.
Today I went and got my hair done, and I used to could like get it done like twice a year. And now it's like every few months because the grays are so bad. And if you have dark hair, they just stick out. It's terrible. Anyways, I'm just like, ooh, like the older I get, I'm just reminded of like all the extra maintenance that comes along with every passing year.
So I didn't have any gray hairs until last year, or at least I probably did, but I didn't find any. But I finally, like, I've grown my hair out, so like this is my natural color right now. It's not gonna stay like this. I literally haven't gotten my hair done for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so since it's my natural, like, mouse brown color, I can see all of the silver and white hairs. I don't have a ton, but, like, I was sitting in my car yesterday, and I was, like, talking to Cody on the phone, and I was looking at my hair in the mirror, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can just see one, like, shimmering in the
always
sun.
front.
Yeah, it was like one of the shorter hairs in the front.
And I don't do a lot. Like she pretty much just like matches my natural color. So we just kind of like go over everything evenly to match what I already have. But still, it's the principle of like having to go in and get it done, and which I like having my hair done, but it's expensive. It's just another thing you got to pay for. But
yep,
I'm just like, man, which I started getting gray hair in my late 20s, but like my grandmother grayed early, and it's just kind of genetic, I guess, but lucky me. So,
how has your winter gone? Because I think the last time we recorded, it was like October, November. I don't even know. It was forever ago. Maybe we released some in November, but maybe that's what it was. We released our last ones in November. And we were planning on doing like a full-blown season, but then the Christmas happened, and we like we could not find a time to record if we wanted to. You know what I mean?
that's just how it goes.
So.
No, it was good. We had a good Christmas. We got to surprise our family in Indiana. Like they had no idea that we were coming, and so we hopped in the car after we did Christmas Eve with my family and drove straight through the night to Indiana, and on Christmas morning got to like walk in their house and surprise everybody. So that was a lot of fun. And got to spend some like really good quality family time. And yeah, that's pretty much Pretty much my winter. So I've been trying to be proactive because I know like every winter I get in a certain mood. I start feeling down. I'm not getting vitamin D. I hate winter. So a couple days ago, like we had weather almost in the 80s, and I was just like wanted to bask in the sun. Like, oh, I like it is amazing like how your body just responds. Like I felt so good. Like
Mhm.
happy, like it was amazing. I went out and with my grandmother and we went in our garden and we're like talking about our plans for this year and it was a great day. And then today it was cloudy again and depressing. But I have been trying to be proactive at like leaning into the season and like resting when I need a rest. I've been trying to like I've made myself I think every day but maybe two. I was hurting pretty bad, but like making sure I get my workout in, make sure that I'm like moving my body and just like trying to take care of myself. And I think that's helped a lot as far as like my mood. Even the days where I'm like, I do not want to work out. When I'm done, I'm like, okay, that was nice. Like I needed to work out.
Mhm.
And so I think just trying to like make sure I'm taking care of myself has helped me a lot more this year than last year was bad. Like it
Yeah.
was it was the never-ending winter. It literally lasted forever it felt like.
Yeah.
And so I think this year I've just been trying to like enjoy the season I'm in, work on my body and just kind of take better care of us and try to keep us well since, nationwide flu's going on.
Yeah. My gosh. I'm kind of in the same boat. So, I basically have had really tough winters the last couple of years, like really tough. I've had I've had a couple of tough years, but like it's always really bad in the winter. But, Briggs is going to be 4 this year.
Mm.
I don't even know. I don't know how it happened. I thought I just had him.
It feels like you just did.
Jeez. I know. Like it feels like I was just pregnant with him. It is so bizarre. But finally I was just like, okay, like it's time to actually start taking care of yourself because I have been running on empty basically since he was born. I never really took a maternity leave with him. I just took a couple of weeks off to heal a little bit from birth. And then I just started working again pretty shortly after.
Hmm.
And it's not like, I'm not going to a job or anything, but the what people don't realize and what I have um, really started to learn over the past few years is it takes a lot of mental, emotional, and even physical energy to be creative. And like if I'm not well rested, the creativity, I struggle. And then it goes from being something that I enjoy doing to being like the hardest thing I can do.
Yeah,
And
you kind
just
of resent it a little bit.
sitting down to create anything is seriously like I feel like I am getting my teeth pulled out. Like it is just, I don't know, it is just so hard sometimes. So, but I haven't been taking care of myself physically. Like I would kept having these times when I would like go to the gym for a few weeks and then I would just be like, I can't fit this in. And then I would just like completely fall off and not do anything and
Hmm.
just get back into like my crazy workaholic zone. Um, and I overbooked myself, so that didn't help. But uh, I finally just have decided this year, like I got very serious and I am on a very serious health journey. I'm not going to go into like a ton of details on here yet. I'll share them eventually, but Kenzie knows the details. um, but So,
I think those would be really good episodes because we're both doing something similar but different because we've got different issues, obviously. But I think that would be a good idea once we kind of make it through.
yeah. Like this month, I feel like January was just like it was like the fastest January I've ever had just because I was so busy and
Mhm.
just like every day I'm to the point in my life where like all I want to do is like live slowly, but it's just like not actually like possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
My son doesn't understand the word slow, so keeping up with him and then my daughter on top of that is like it just is crazy. And I don't know. But I just it got to the point where like every single day I'd have to map out every day because every day the schedule is slightly different and there's like all these little nuances and scheduling things, and if I'm going to fit everything in, I have to like be extremely disciplined and diligent with everything,
Yeah.
which
If you
is
don't,
great.
then it all falls apart.
But yeah, if you don't plan, then something's going to get slip through the cracks, you know what I mean? So, but I will totally agree with you. Getting on my health journey and really putting myself first and making myself a huge priority has been the best thing for my mental space that I have ever done. I guess I didn't realize after I had Briggs, like, what a dark hole I had fallen into mentally. I mean, eventually I did realize that it got really bad, but
Mhm.
you don't realize it until you're so far down. It's hard to get back out of it. You know what I mean? And so I'm feeling really good and feeling a lot better. And so we're just going to keep on going. But I guess we can just kind of get right into our list. So we have created a list of ideas to help you if you are struggling this time of year, because I know a lot of people do. And so we're just going to give you some ideas, and we just want them to help you because we don't want you to feel like garbage. Do you want to start us off or
Yeah. So this is probably my favorite thing is making going outside a priority and like getting into nature, which, it does sound counterintuitive when it's 2 degrees outside, but there are some nice days. And, depending on where you live is also, plays a huge factor. But like I said, here in Oklahoma, we could have a day where it's 10 degrees outside and then the next day it's 80, but that's just Oklahoma for you. Like we could have a tornado. It is what it is. So just try to take advantage of the really nice days. If you're like me, like I cannot stand the cold. I hate it. I married an opposite. He would live in the Arctic tundra and thrive there. And I would be depressed. So for me to like go outside when it's cold, like I understand that's probably not the easiest thing to do because I don't want to go outside when it's cold. Um, but definitely take advantage of your nicer days if you can. And then one thing that helps me is if it's not like, icy or snowy or super like windy, which there are some people who are hardcore, like probably like Talia's husband Cody. But like I try to maybe get my workouts in out there, like because you're gonna warm up, so you can get out in nature and do your workouts if that would help you go outside and kind of move your body in that way. But like it's just important, even if it's cloudy, overcast, whatever. You're still gonna be getting SPF and light, and that's so important on your skin and just getting that vitamin D, that natural vitamin D, because I know like everyone takes a supplement for everything now, which I feel like we need to link that video that I tell you so like other women would relate. But it's so relatable. Anyways, I think that there's nothing like natural vitamin D. Like you can't put that into a capsule and get the same effect. And so if you can just get outside and get that, I think it's important, especially during the winter. And then another thing is like take advantage of the snow if you have it. Which again, I'm a 1 day a year snow person. Like, yeah, let's go make our snowman, go sledding. Then I'm done, and then I'm ready to like get in the garden. So people love the snow. My kids love the snow. But just kind of like lean into the season if you can and try to enjoy it while it's here and just know that it is a season and it'll pass like all the others. And yeah, just try to get outside as much as you can. Because I think being outside is a natural mood lifter in itself.
Yeah. Well, just to add on to that, I mean, the vitamin D, like it's great to take a supplement. I started taking a supplement, which I've never done. So I think that's great, but there is actual like evidence that going out and getting the sunlight and getting sunshine in your eyes and on your bare skin is very, very important, and it really does make a big difference. And especially like there are some people that are real big on wearing SPF at all times. There's really no point in wearing SPF this time of year.
Okay, so a little side note, I I think maybe this summer we should do a episode on unpopular,
Unconventional.
yeah, like crazy things that the entire like health conspiracies that we do every day. I never wear sunscreen. Never put it on. Not gonna say my family doesn't. They're fine, but like I don't burn anyway because I am Native American, so that's part of it. But also like I just don't believe in it. But again, don't come after me.
We need to just do like a full episode about that. I mean, honestly, if you're listening to us at this point, I'm like, you probably know where we stand on a lot.
Anyways, yeah, that's just a little plug. Like I will write that down because there are some things that we're just told that we need to be using, and it's not helpful, and I think it actually hinders you. And so, and I'm not saying like vitamin D supplements. I take them in the winter because my levels are always low, and then in the summer they go up because I'm outside all day. But I do have to take something because my levels are usually pretty critical on vitamin D. But I'm just saying, if you can get out there and naturally help yourself, then go do it.
Yep. Yep. And also the best time is in the morning sun. But honestly, if you can get out at any point, it's good. I was gonna say, so I have a really hard time going outside when it's cold because I'm a lizard and I need to live in Arizona.
And it's just horrible.
But and it has been like the last, I don't know, most of January is like that biting cold where it's just like it's like painfully cold to go outside and it's
Angry,
just
mad.
like you're out there and you're just like, why? Like, why am I out here? It's just so cold.
I hate
And
it.
it's not sunny, it's just cloudy. And but there was a couple of days because we haven't gotten very much snow. We finally did get a little snowstorm a couple weeks ago, but there was a while there we didn't have any snow. And so I just was like, okay, kids, we're going to go on a nature walk. And we went on an hour-long nature walk up on the hills above our house. And it was cold, but it wasn't like muddy or snowy or anything. So it was totally doable with the kids. And it was good to get out and get my steps in.
Kinsey here. If you aren't familiar, I own a rural boutique and general store, and this year I am celebrating 10 years of business. I had a storefront in our town for 8 years, and over the last 2 have operated online only out of a little shop that we fixed up on our ranch. I carry a wide variety of items from home decor, gifts, toys and goodies for the cow kids, a curated selection of vintage Western pieces handpicked by me, as well as our own line of ranch goods called Farm Girl Cattle Co. Talia and I actually work together on my Cattle Co line, so when you purchase from that, it's like you're getting a little piece of both of us. My shop has also started offering custom embroidery for small businesses, farms, and ranches. I work hard at providing a little something for everyone while staying on brand and true to my style. If you'd like to shop and pick up a little something for you or someone else, you can shop at farmgirlboutique.com and use the code PRAIRIE for 10% off your order. If you're local to Ada, Oklahoma, you can also choose local pickup, or if you fancy shopping in person, you can find a small selection of my items at 1931 Legacy Ranch on Main Street, where we first got started.
All right, so we're going to just keep on going through these, but this one is really a big deal for me, and you can call me vain. I don't care. Go ahead. But I'm one of those people that, like my natural skin tone, I am more tan naturally. But during the winter, I lighten up to a point where I feel like if I don't have my tan, like my summertime tan, my skin looks like sallow, because I have very yellow, like a yellow base undertone to my skin. And so I can kind of get like looking a little sallow. And so I just think that whatever you can do to make yourself feel good and make yourself look to where you enjoy looking at yourself in the mirror, I think that's important. And whether that is putting on some self tanner, which if you're like a big anti-chemical person, then probably not the best thing. But you know, I feel like if you're gonna do it, it's kind of bad either way, right? Like, it's either use self tanner or go tanning and tanning salon. It's really pick your poison at that point. But if it makes you feel better about yourself and it really raises your spirits and makes you feel like you look better, I kind of am all for it. That's just the way I
Well,
feel.
I will say that I think that there are some better companies that are coming out with better self tanners than what we had in high school. We'll say that.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. And there's so many more options than there used to be. I mean, there was nothing when we were in high school. In high school, all we had was Jergens.
And you looked orange. I remember having it between my fingers.
Yeah.
I was the idiot who didn't wipe it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what we
That's,
used to say is tan fat looks better than white fat.
well, it's just a fact. It's just a fact, okay? And especially if you're like not in your peak physical condition yet, like I'm working on, um like I need some form of a tan. And I have gone back and forth. There are things that I like about self tanner and things that I absolutely hate about self tanner. And same with like spray tans. Like I've gotten like actual professional spray tans before. Ultimately, there, especially during the winter, I'm just a person, like I need to go and pretend that I'm in Arizona
I need the
or
heat.
that I'm at Lake Powell, so I go lay in a tanning bed. And I'm not doing it like 3 times a week. It might be like once a month, maybe twice. You know what I mean? But it gives you a little bit of color. It makes you feel better, and I just that's just one of those areas that I feel like you kind of got to do what you got to do.
Well, and a
So,
little disclaimer, people, we're not like 1000% crunchy, okay? So
exactly.
we sin too.
You know, it's Well, you can't be all out
You can't.
these days because everything is bad for you and everything will kill you. So you basically just have to decide, right?
With what they spray on kale will literally kill you. Like, you can eat all the kale you want, and you're still putting chemicals in your body, so, again, like, unless you're growing 1000% of all your food, even then, like, there's I'm not gonna get on my little tin hat, but they're spraying the skies, so we're just all doomed.
Not holding back anymore, are we?
Like you said, at this point, we're in season 5, so
That ship has sailed.
we should know.
All right. Well, I've said enough about that. You can do the next one.
Okay, this is one that I feel like I've been trying to embrace more too, is embrace coziness. So, again, it's kinda like leaning into the season. So, in the spring and summer for us, and fall too, especially, like, with the daylight savings stuff, we're when the sun's out, we're out. And so, in the summer, we don't even come inside usually until after 9 o'clock. So, we kinda take advantage during the cold seasons of, like, being cozy and curling up and watching a movie on the couch because we really don't watch anything during those months because we're outside doing stuff. So, we just kind of enjoy that time and, like, do puzzle or, just kind of enjoy being home. And, I've also noticed, like, it's kind of like a treat for me. So, I've been in this rhythm where I'm trying to get, like, my workout, all that stuff done in the morning. I started running, so I'm trying to get my run in the morning, and, like, the evening time is, like, our cozy time, so I don't feel like I have to get anything done, all my stuff's done. I've been reading a lot more. That my goal this year was to read, like, 36 books, and I've read 16 already this year.
Dang.
I've been reading
Holy moly.
I've been trying to, like, get off my phone and
Yeah.
read my books, which I haven't fit like, I've been on a memoir kick for whatever reason, and so I've been listening to, like, some audiobooks, but the only books I'll listen to are, like, memoirs that are narrated by the actual person who wrote the book. So, like,
Mm.
it's like Matthew McConaughey, his Greenlight book, or JD Vance, the Hillbilly Elegy, like, those types of books about their life. I'll listen to those while I'm, like, working or whatever, but then, like, my other books, I physically read at night before I go to bed. So, anyways, I've really been soaking up that time, that cozy time, because in the summer I don't get to read as much because I want to be outside or I'm in my garden or the kids are doing stuff outside. So, anyways, I've really been trying to just, like, embrace and be thankful and take advantage of the time that we have inside. Used to, I was just miserable. I was just like, I felt trapped in my house. Like, I hate being inside. I hate being in here. It's gross outside. So I don't want to go outside, but I'm not going to let myself be miserable like that anymore. I'm going to find something else productive to do. So it's kind of like lifted my mood in that way too.
That's such a good point. I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to being intentional. And it's like, it's actually putting thought into like, okay, just like you said, I'm doing this now because I'm not going to be able to do it later, or we're going to have a really busy summer, or whatever that happens to be. But being intentional and making choices to brighten up your mood with this current circumstances. So,
Mhm.
one thing that I started doing was um because I'm trying to drink a lot more water. So rather than just like relying on just filling up my water bottle, I've been making tea, like
Mhm.
herbal tea, and like really trying to like get the most of that because I don't drink tea in the summer usually or like when it's warmer out.
Mhm.
So, and then of course like just lighting candles and things that are make your house feel more cozy. I just think it helps because it can get pretty drab, especially when you don't have any snow. I think that's been the hardest thing this year is we haven't had very much snow. and it's not it's not very nice.
Yeah, and we've been trying to, like, watch what we eat and really hone in on our diet, but also, like, not eliminating everything, like, trying to eat seasonally as well, so, like, last month, Zach and Scout made homemade chicken and dumplings a couple times, and I'm not gonna not eat them. Like, they're so, so good.
Mhm.
I think it's okay, like, we're not gonna eat that all year, we're not gonna eat that in the summer, like, we literally only eat it when it's super cold. So, yeah, just embrace the cozy in all aspects.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. Like, you can still be, like, having your like, eating well or having certain health goals be a priority, um, but you can still tailor them to
Oh,
make
yeah,
sense in this season.
that's the beauty about macros too. That's why I love it. I feel like it's
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. If you want a piece of cake, you can make it fit.
We'll find a way.
Most of the time you can figure it out. All right. So we kind of started off with this, but for both of us getting back into taking care of our health, get your workout in. And I think the biggest thing, and I know that Kenzie knows this, but it's the consistency. So it's not just like, oh, I think I'll go work out today. And then you go work out and then you don't go back to the gym for 2 weeks. No, it's like going every day, committing, and doing it. And I've been going to a well, it's not even, I don't even want to call it bro gym. It's kind of a bro gym. It's a Globo gym, which is like, it's kind of a swear word after I've been going to CrossFit for like 10 years. I think it'll be like our 10-year CrossFit anniversary this year. But I decided that I wanted to develop my physique um more than just what CrossFit does for you. I wanted it to be a little bit more intentional with the way that my body looks. And so there are certain like weight machines and stuff that I have to use at this specific gym. But I have a schedule for my week and I do the same workouts um, each day.
Mhm.
Like, Mondays I do this, Tuesdays I do this, Wednesdays
Lower
rest day,
core
you
cardio.
know, but it doesn't change week to week. I go and do it every week. I try to keep the same time slot. So whatever that time slot is that day that I can make it happen, like that's when I have to go and get it in. Like and my schedule, I don't have like a ton of flexibility. So it's pretty much like it has to happen at this time or it's not going to happen. So in that way it's actually good because it takes kind of like the wishy-washy or like the guesswork out of it. It's just like, well, it's my time for the gym. So
View it as like a
I have to go.
job or an appointment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I even started going at 6 a.m. on Saturday mornings, which like old me would have been like, no, no thanks. Like, I'm sleeping. Okay. But I am very, very motivated and I'm trying to be more disciplined. And so I actually like the first time I did it, I was like, this is probably gonna suck. And I'm probably gonna hate this. And I went and it was so glorious. Like the gym's empty at that time. I mean, not completely empty. There's still quite a lot of early birds that like to go do their stuff on Saturday mornings, surprisingly.
A lot better
But
than 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
no,
I
I won't.
it.
I will not. Mm-mm, not happening. That's the worst time of day to go. But even I discovered that after high school gets out, so like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Ew,
Oh
kids.
my gosh. Made that mistake once and I was like, never
Well,
again.
all the
That was horrible.
I've noticed it's, like, our age now too, which is sad. Like, it's all the TikTokers. It's all the video recorders. Like, you're trying to dodge the camera when you're, like, working out.
Oh, that's funny. Uh, but yeah, just having that consistency when I started doing the Saturdays, the first time I went, I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's no one here. Like I can use all my machines. I don't have to wait for anyone to get off. Like this is
Stare at people till
awesome."
they're done.
and and not only that, but it's like I get home by like 8:30 and I've already gotten my workout in. I've already done my cardio. Like
That's, like, the best feeling to
I
me.
feel so accomplished, and
Yeah,
then it's like, all right, like I'm ready to take on the rest of my Saturday and actually have a productive Saturday instead of just like,
so much more energy.
you know. And
Yeah.
here's the other thing. So I have tried to, my kids wake up early, so I've been trying to like keep them quiet on Saturday mornings. Like this was before I started working out, but trying to let my husband sleep in a little bit more. Um, so we weren't actually doing anything and I wasn't making breakfast until like 9 or something, like 8:30 or 9. Anyway, and so now the biggest difference is like he doesn't get to sleep in, which, he's very supportive of my goals and so he's willing and okay with waking up early to be with the kids while I'm at the gym. But I think it's just the consistency is so important, not just in like making sure you get it done, but in actually seeing change in your body. And whether that's like, you know, just building strength or actually losing weight or building muscle or anything like that, going consistently is really, really important.
Just
And
feeling better in general. Like,
it's so important for like it really does make your body feel so much better just because you're going and moving and it's like magic. Like it just makes you feel so much better and
where
it
you're getting that
it just
lymphatic
helps you.
moving and you're getting stuff circulating, and it's amazing. It's crazy how, like, you can fall off the wagon and then just stay in that cycle and you just feel like crap forever. And then once you get going, like, it may be so hard to get going at first, but then when you get in a routine, you're like, you like feel like I have to work out because like I feel better. I want to.
Yeah. Do you find that you're like start to crave it
Yeah.
where you're just like I want that endorphin rush. I want to like go feel the pump like I get to the point where I'm like, okay, like, it's time for me to go to the gym, and I'm excited to go. Like, I don't get to where I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna go to the gym, I'm tired." It's not like that. It's like, I wanna go so I can go and have my me time.
I like it. And then I can like pop in my earbuds and listen to something and like zone out and just I I don't know. I'm one of these, I like to sweat. Like, I feel really good when
Mhm.
I sweat. I think that too, that's why I like summer and working in the garden because I just sweat like a man. But like I feel so much better and I sleep better, and yeah. And I'm one of these too, like as long as I get good sleep at night, I would much rather get up early and get it done for the day because I feel like my day goes better. Once I have like a full day of doing stuff, working out
Yeah.
kind of is like I'm tired. I wanna go
Yeah.
home and, like, cook and rest. Like, that's
Mhm.
kind of what I wanna do when I'm done at the end of the day. I don't really wanna go work out, but
Mhm.
on the days that I haven't got it done in the morning, like, I just make myself do it, and then I do feel better afterward, but
Yeah.
you just have to tell yourself, like, "There's purpose in this, and you will feel better. Just get it done." It's an hour, hour and a half of your time. Just get it over with.
Not sure what to cook and tired of eating the same old thing? Check out my meal plan subscription called Hayfield Meals. And no, you don't have to be a farmer or rancher to subscribe. This is actually a wonderful tool and resource for any homemaker. Back in 2018, I started an Instagram account called Hayfield Meals. I was carting food to the hayfield for my husband and dad and got the idea to create a community among other farm and ranch wives who still wanted to gather with their families over a meal during some of the busiest times of the year. For many, that's hay season, harvest, branding, or calving season. But whether you are rural or not, these ideas are for everyone. It was such a fun way to connect with others who live similar lifestyles, and since then has blossomed into something that has really blessed our family. It was my way to bring what we had on our table to the tractor while also making a hand in the field and kitchen. I expanded on this and decided to provide a service offering a meal plan subscription to take the guesswork out of what to make each week. For $7 a month, your subscription includes 5 dinners, 1 snack, and dessert, planned out with all of the recipes, a completed grocery list you can upload into your grocery app, as well as extras like bonus recipes. It's seriously the price of like a fancy coffee. They are delivered on a weekly basis straight to your inbox each Friday in PDF form, so you can easily print them and throw them in a binder. It's a wonderful gift for others, as I also offer a yearly option of a one-time charge of $77 that gives you 1 month for free. I've had several women gift it to their friends, moms, daughters, sisters, college students, newlyweds, or simply to themselves. All of the recipes are easily modifiable, and I love having a wide selection to reference at different times of the year. It's like building your own little cookbook. If you'd like to subscribe and join my meal plan, you can do so by visiting my website at farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals.
This next one we kind of talked about too a little bit, but eating well. So it can be our body's natural tendency in the winter too is to store up energy and to want to eat more. I feel like we are hungrier. We're colder too, so we're burning burning a little bit more naturally. Um, but just trying to be mindful of what you have for me personally is just like what we have in our home, not stocking it full of junk and just making sure that when I am hungry, I honor that craving, but with something better than muffins and terrible snacks.
Okay,
I
so
feel like this is like baking season too. So like
yeah.
it's kind of not now, but especially during like Christmas time, like it's, just the Wild West with all the things and the cinnamon rolls and the cakes. And it's really easy to have a bite of this and a bite of that. And by the end of the day, you've ate a whole cake by yourself. And so
Mhm.
it's just like, just being mindful of that. One thing that I do that helps me is I track, and I know Talia does too, but I track my macros. And I I just got back doing it like the end of December, and I've been consistent with it every day since. But for a while, I didn't do it for like a year. And I feel so much better when I do that. And it just kind of keeps me in check because it is really easy to consume a ton of calories and you feel like you didn't really eat that much. But once you start adding it up, it can get out of control real fast. And then you're like, oh, well, that's why I gained 10 pounds over winter break because of all the little snacks and grab and go things that you pick up. So, anyways, that's one thing that helps me is just kind of tracking what I have, and then I am kind of a creature of habit, so I pretty much eat the same thing for breakfast every day, unless it's on the weekends. And so, like, I'll pre-track my breakfasts for the whole week, and then I kind of eat a similar lunch, and then dinner we kind of have something different, but it's usually like beef or like some kind of protein with something else. So, it kind of gives me margin because I like sweets. And so it kind of gives me margin for like a sweet treat. And then I try to find like better options for those to kind of fit in and like kind of harness that craving. So I don't feel like I'm like just depriving myself because that is like a surefire way for you to just fall off and let go eventually. If you just keep depriving yourself of everything, you're just going to binge later. It's just like
Right.
it like turns into just a vicious cycle and like unhealthy relationship with food. And I didn't realize I had that for a really long time until I
Yeah.
realized like how like the restrictive eating mindset will get you. So,
Yeah, so kind of going along with that, one thing that I have been working on, because like I'm very familiar with tracking macros, but it does take some like dedication, and it takes diligence to like track everything you eat, right? So one thing that I have been working on is kind of reframing the way that I look at food. And instead of, being like, oh, well, I'm trying to eat good, so I can't eat that, um,
yeah.
I have been trying to, even if it's just the way that I'm talking about it in my head, it's like, does this food, will it help me achieve my goal? Like, will eating this lead to me achieving my goal, or will it detract from that?
Yeah.
And that kind of, and the other thing that I do that's kind of silly, but it's because I'm a people pleaser, so I do better when I have outside accountability. But like, I'll imagine that there's someone in the room who's not actually there, and they're watching me. And it's like, are you going to eat that when so and so is standing right there watching you? It's kind of like, like, would you do that if Jesus was watching you? But instead of Jesus, it's like, someone that I want my physique to look like, or you know what I mean?
RFK.
What was that?
I said RFK. You have his picture in your fridge.
Yeah.
Like he judges Trump for his McDonald's.
But it helps, and I think, you have to do what works for you, and like obviously that might not work for everyone, but it does work for me because I just have that like obliger kind of personality. And so but ultimately it's like, is this going to help you achieve your goal? No. Okay. Or I'll ask myself, like, so for example, there was a birthday party the other day in my family, and they had cake and ice cream. But the cake and ice cream doesn't particularly fit super well in my macros, and I didn't really feel like totally screwing up the rest of my day just to fit cake and ice cream, because I was really like, okay, is this cake like worth all of the effort that you have to go
Mm-hmm.
to like make it work for you? And you're not like, the option to just like completely blow my numbers, like it's just not an option to me. And so it's like, it either needs to fit or it's not gonna, like, I'm not gonna make that choice. And so I just ended up deciding like, I'm not gonna have cake and ice cream tonight, and it's gonna be fine, and it's not worth it anyway. And you're gonna feel better because you made the choice not to, than to just go ahead and completely blow your entire day, because then you're going to be mad at yourself. And so I don't know. I just think reframing the way that you think about things, and like you said, not completely restricting and saying like, I can't have anything, but just being intentional with what you choose to have. Like, if you are going to have this like really, really special dinner with your husband and he's taking you on a date, and you like never go to this restaurant, and it is going to, like, it's not going to fit in your macros, like that might be one of those times where it's worth it to you
Yeah.
to like have a more flexible meal or whatever. And that's fine. But it's just like, don't be sitting there taking bites of your kids' macaroni, just because it's there, and totally screwing everything up, because I've done it. I've done it so much. It's like not even funny. And
Well,
I
a
just,
lot of it is just mindless too.
right.
Like you're just
And
not,
that's,
yeah, not even really thinking about it. And like one thing that I've been keeping in mind or asking myself, because I've been having like lots of food aversions to things. Like there's some things like I can't even eat anymore because I feel awful and I pay for it. And it's just like, is this worth feeling like crap? Like, you know how this makes you feel. Like, it may taste good in the moment, but like in an hour, you're going to feel like trash and you're going to be like, why did I even eat that? Like, so I try to think about that too. It's like, is it worth feeling like that later? And like chocolate cake doesn't make me feel bad. I really like it, but it's also like, is that going to help me achieve my goals? So it's just like trying to keep both of those things in your mind before you mindlessly eat, or just a lot of the times too, you're not even hungry. It's
Right.
kind of like that. I don't know. It's something to do with your mind. It's just like we're conditioned almost to think that I'm hungry or it's out, or I don't know, kind of one of those like out of sight, out of mind things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, it was like, I just, it's like you say, just mindless eating. So my kid's eating like Teddy Grahams or whatever. And I, in the past, I would just go over and like eat one because it's there.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
and I
mean? Like,
too, like being winter, it's so much easier to eat more because you're inside. So, like, in the summer, sometimes I'm like, and I don't really like to eat a lot when it's hot. I just don't feel like eating. So sometimes in the summer, I kind of have to make myself eat more and like span it out instead of like eat for the whole day at night or whatever. But uh yeah, I think too, it's just so much easier to eat more and mindless eat when you're just inside all the time. So just kind of watch too what you stock in your house. That's been a big thing for us too. Is just like, I just don't buy certain stuff anymore. Like, we're just gonna eliminate that temptation.
yeah. Especially if it's stuff that like, is like a big,
Yeah.
if it's like a carrot dangling is not a good a good example because like no one actually wants a carrot.
It's so true.
But you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to bring the stuff into your house that's like going to be a constant temptation for you.
Yeah.
It's just you're just not helping yourself. So, thank you for listening to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple or Spotify so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, we would be so appreciative if you would leave us a rating and review.
This will help more ladies find us, and it will help us make the show even better. If you know a fellow Western homemaker who would enjoy the podcast, will you please share it with them?
If you'd like to support the podcast, you can become a patron at patreon.com/paintbrushprairie. You can also follow us on Instagram at paintbrushprairie.
You can find me, Kinsey, on Instagram at the.farmgirl, or on my blog at farmgirlblogs.com to see what I'm up to on the ranch, Western home inspiration, or subscribe to my meal plan subscription at farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals. You can also shop for unique Western goods at my rural boutique and general store at farmgirlboutique.com.
You can follow me, Talia, on Instagram at The Pinion Range, or my Western art page at Wapiti Sage Design. You can also purchase my artwork or book a custom piece at wapitisagedesign.com. I also blog over at thepinionrange.com, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel where I share the behind the scenes of my life as a Western artist and homesteader. We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time from the Paintbrush Prairie.